It's a sad day, folks, when a law-abiding citizen has to write a letter like this to the President of Ireland. I'm putting it here on the record, in the public domain, because, unfortunately, it seems it is the only alternative left open to us. Dear President Higgins, we respectfully write to you today in your role as President of Ireland regarding a grave moral and legislative crisis which threatens to undermine all of the stated values and fundamental principles of our Constitution. We write after having exhausted all other possible avenues of approach to the various statutory authorities and their respective agents, including multiple formal approaches and written complaints to the so-called statutory oversight bodies, most notably An Garda Síochána, the Garda Síochána Ombudsman Commission and the Irish courts, who have, without exception, utterly failed in their respective mandates to serve the public and protect and safeguard the Irish Constitution. I approach you today, sir, as a law-abiding citizen, as a concerned husband and father of 3 children, and as an active member of the Integrity Ireland community, to seek your personal intervention in a series of alarming incidents and events which are being perpetrated illegally by various agents of the state, including by several persons in high office who are embroiled in so many acts of serious and inexcusable malfeasance as to render their positions in any legislative, service-related or governance roles to be absolutely unconstitutional and illegal, and therefore utterly untenable. The immediate matters referred to include a succession of criminal acts committed against myself and my family since 2009, including an extended campaign of harassment, intimidation, defamation, physical assaults, death threats and other serious attacks, one of which is linked to an unsolved murder, which Gardaí have failed to properly investigate, as well as to the subsequent proven cover-ups and collusion by agents of the state, which, either before or after the fact, have been committed with the direct personal knowledge of senior Gardaí up to and including current and previous Garda Commissioners Martin Callanan and Noreen O'Sullivan, and with the full knowledge of DPP Claire Loftus and senior members of her staff, including the current Chief State Solicitor Eileen Creedon, with the knowledge of Ministers of Justice Alan Shatter TD and Francis Fitzgerald TD, and with the full knowledge of Taoiseach Enda Kenny, who has, for a period of at least 3 years, repeatedly failed or refused to meet with us to discuss matters. In context of the above, and in addition to scores of similar sworn complaints as recorded on the Integrity Ireland database, I wish to draw your particular attention to the fact that we have, as of December the 22nd, 2014, lodged a criminal complaint with An Garda Síochána, which has been copied to Garda headquarters, under the reporting obligations of Section 19 of the Criminal Justice Act 2011, and in context of Articles 34 and 35 of the Irish Constitution, naming 2 of our most senior judges, amongst others, as being knowing parties to an ongoing conspiracy to pervert the course of justice. This incorporates the commission of and/or the knowing facilitation of serial incidences of fraud, deception and perjury, contempt of court and other unlawful breaches of the Constitution, of the law and of their respective oaths of office, as outlined in part in the criminal complaint submitted to Garda headquarters. Furthermore, inasmuch as I have received notification as the plaintiff in a High Court action to attend an appeal hearing on Friday, January the 30th next, and inasmuch as that hearing is scheduled to be heard in utterly improper circumstances that are predicated on an indefensible series of frauds, deceptions and other calculated abuses of position and authority, which have been facilitated at the very least by various agents of the state and members of the judiciary, and inasmuch as it would now constitute knowing complicity on my part if I were to participate further in these illegal and unconstitutional activities, and inasmuch as we have written scores of formal letters and complaints to all parties concerned concerning the affiliated criminal activities of agents of the state, such as collusion and conspiracy to pervert the course of justice, for example, and given we cannot secure any proper responses from those whom we have approached to date, then I write to you, sir, as the current President of Ireland, to respectfully advise that if I am to abide by the law and the Constitution, then I cannot, indeed I absolutely should not, participate further in these illegal activities, such as those which are currently being perpetrated by some of the senior judges in the land. However, as a courtesy to the court and as a gesture of respect to the law of the land as it is supposed to be administered, it is my intention to attend the appeals court on January the 30th next, so as not to be adjudged to be in contempt of court. As a law-abiding citizen, however, I also understand that it is my solemn duty not to knowingly participate in illegal, fraudulent or criminal activities, even if instructed to do by any given judge. And here I quote Article 35(2) of the Irish Constitution, whereby judges are obliged to act in accordance with the law and the Constitution. And I am therefore stating my position in advance for the record and copying the same to the respective parties so that there is no misunderstanding of the position. I therefore respectfully advise, sir, of my intention to initiate a citizen's arrest of any Irish citizen, including any member of the judiciary, who knowingly participates in or facilitates criminal activity under the respective legislation, and I now seek your personal assurance that I will receive the full protection of your presidential office should any further unconstitutional abuses be visited upon us. We further seek your assurances, sir, that a Presidential Commission of Inquiry will be immediately set up to inquire into the matters referred to herein, to ascertain as to whether or not the named judges should be the subjects of impeachment proceedings, and whether other named persons in the employ of the state should be removed from office and prosecuted for criminal offences, to which end we undertake to cooperate fully with any such legitimate inquiry. Finally, it is probably pertinent and appropriate, sir, to note that I am fully aware of the terms and conditions of the Defamation Act 2009 and of the consequences of publishing anything which I know to be untrue. And it is in this specific context that I advise of my intention to make this letter and all materials in my possession that relate to it freely available for inspection by any investigative, private or public source. Thank you for your time and consideration, sir. Given the pressing timeline, I respectfully invite a timely response and commit to being available to meet you personally at short notice. As I said at the beginning, folks, it is a sad day indeed when a law-abiding citizen has to write a letter of this nature, putting, if you like, on notice some of the senior authorities in the land who are committing offence after offence after offence with impunity. And while I'm at it, folks, let me also issue an advisory here to certain people out there, most notably Mr. Parker. Yes, you know who you are. And to your relatives, and to those who you deem protectors within the institutions of the state, within the judiciary, within the political sphere of influence. Everything associated with our cases dating back to 2009 has now been digitally recorded and placed in a safe place. Keep sending the death threats. Keep implying that danger is coming down on our heads. I can assure you that if anything untoward happens to me, to my family, or to any members of Integrity Ireland who are engaged in this noble quest to root out the endemic corruption in Irish state institutions, that everything, every iota, will immediately be made public. I hope you understand the position.